Hey guys, welcome back to SLT Learning, and we are on the playlist of robot framework with Python. So far we have covered like the three parts, right? Where we have seen introduction of robot framework, then the software required to be installed before we start with the robot framework with Python, right? Then we have also seen like how you can create a project, right? How you can configure the packages, right? So there are the different packages that we have discussed, right? Selenium libraries with framework, robot framework itself, right? Then robot framework and Selenium library, and then most important things that we need to configure IntelliBot for the robot file and the Selenium library to be loaded. Okay, then we have also created our first test case, which would be robot file. Okay, this is considered as a test case. Like when you create a dot robot file, the extension should be dot robot file, right? And this is considered as a, I will just say the test case in the robot framework. Okay, so what is the extension? Dot robot. So let's we go to our that PyCharm, right, where we have created this simple test case robot. If I double click on that one, it will load the information like the blank one because we have not added anything. So today we're going to write our first test case for the robot, right? But before that we need to understand the file structure, right? What exactly in the robot file will contain, right? So there are major four sections you can consider in a robot file, right? The first one will be the setting. Okay, if you just see the setting, just hold on, it will be load. Yeah, you see settings, and this is how you should write the section. Okay, three-star setting, and it will automatically come. If you just write, then we will have a variable, right? Then we will have a, I will just say the keywords, right? And then we will have our test cases. So these are the major four section of robot file. Okay, so what setting contains? Settings mainly contain the library, right, that we're gonna use in this particular this particular test cases, right? Then the variable, as the name suggests, if you want to provide some static information like a app URL or the username and password, something like that way. So let me just write it down something for you, okay guys, in a single line. So how you can add a comment in robot file? This sign, right? And this says this section contains all libraries required to work with test cases. Okay, let's suppose if you are working with Excel, right, then you have to work with the Excel test cases. Then you have to, like in a Selenium, right, we have to import Apache for GI. So similar way you can import other things as well. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's keep it as it is. So for this one we have imported the library for Selenium, right? So let's we import our first library. How you can do this? Just says library and simple, just write Selenium, right, and library. So few things you have to write it down manually, guys, right? Sometimes the auto, like this kind auto suggestion will not come. So remember this syntax, very simple, right? You are importing the Selenium library under the setting. Okay, the same thing variable, right? If you want to store the values, I will not just say static, but to store the values which we are going to use in test case. Okay, I will just say in test. I'm not going to write test case, otherwise this will automatically got import. Then the keyword, right? What is keyword, guys? So keyword will be the name suggests, right, the keyword driven testing that we have seen. Like if you want to create a methods, right, like click events, all those events, we have to create a shortcuts, right? For that one we normally create the create. So you can just say user define keywords. I will also says methods. Okay, which contains couple of steps to save the time and reuse it. Okay, I will showcase. We will go in detail for each and every things, right? But this is what is the basic structure, right? This is what the basic structure. If you go this particular robot framework, right, official website, right, you can go to this documentation. just go to this user guide, guys, right? This is really helpful as well. Like if you're going step by step, everything will be mentioned over here, right? How you gonna do, like this is where you can just directly jump. So I'm gonna go over there because we have already seen this part. So you see over here the different sections like settings, import the test library, resource file or a variable file, something like that way. If you want to import some Excel file, right, like the test cases or the XML file which contain the test data, you can also upload in a setting. Then variable, you need to define the variable test data, test cases. Then task, creating a task using the available keyword single file can be contained, right? This is the task session as well. Comment section, if you want to add additional comment, right? And keyword section, right, which is lower level keyword you need to enter. So now if you just type task, you will also get task. You see task. If you would comment, you will no, I think for comment it will not, but the task section is also there, right? You can use these keywords, whatever keyword you create, you can use in a task, and then you can use that task in the test cases. Okay, so I will just gonna put it over here, task. Okay, so what the definition of task contain? Creating a task using the keywords single file can be only contain either a task or a test or a task, right? So over here either you should have a task or you should have a test, right? So this is something you can consider in a page object model, right? When we create a task, right, so we have a separate list of like the few of the method, and in a test case we will actually validate something. Okay, where we're gonna do the validation part. Okay, so now this is what the simple robot framework file will look like. Okay, now let's we do one thing, let's we do our first test cases, guys. Okay, so what we gonna do, I will take this demo website. uh, I store too many bookmarks. I will take this one. This is our website, right, which we're gonna do. So what operation we're gonna do, we will land to this particular page, right, like, and we will click on this login link, right? Then just hold on, it's loading. Yeah, once we will click on this login link, right, what we're gonna do, we will enter username and password. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. So click on login link, yeah, and then enter email and password and click on this login button. So very simple test case we're gonna do. First land to the home page, click on login link, enter username and password and click on this login button. Okay, so for that one we all know, right, we have app URL. Now what we required, we also know the steps, the manual scenario, right? Now what we required, we required the locators 1, 2, 3, and 4. These 4 locators we required to perform the click event, to perform the type into, right, like in a Selenium we have send key. So these kind of things we will require to be performed. So first of all, let's we do one thing. Let's we just simply write down this one, okay, in a test case. So what you can do, you can give a test case name. So I will just give a test case name, login to application. Okay, this is my test case name. Then I will enter tab, right, to tab, to just give a good like the formation. So I will just says first things I will just says open browser, right? Open browser, and this is something that says driver.get, and I will just hit this URL because this is the URL we want. Copy this URL, and I will just says, then I will give two tab, and simple, you need to write which browser you need to open. Chrome. Very simple, right, guys? We no need to do define like a Selenium system dot library, something like that way. Just put these things, open browser, I want to open this URL, and then in a Chrome browser. Simple. Firefox, you can mention Firefox. Microsoft Edge, you can mention Microsoft Edge. Okay, but we are doing very simple test case over here. So once this is open, right, what I want, after that I want to see the test case, right? So I will add some weight, right? We add weight or thread sleep in Selenium. So over here, how you can enter add the weight sleep. So I want sleep for 3 seconds. So we can observe the scenario. Okay. Now what is the next step, guys? We need to do, once we will load to this particular page, I want to click on this one. So what I can do, I will copy and inspect. Okay, and now what I can do, I can find the locators of this particular element. So quickly I will go and find the locators. I know you must be know how to find the locators. If not, like in my YouTube channel I have uploaded one video how to find the XPath and different locators. You can refer those things in SLT learning. but let me just quickly find out the locators for you. So over here we have a text, right, and we have anchor text. So what I will do, I will write the X path, right, and I will just say is a, then text method. I'm going to call text method in XPath, and I will enter this text in single quote. And yeah, you see it says 1-to-1 matching, and it is also highlighting this login if you enter, right. So this is how you should identify the locators, guys, right. We will take a separate session, because the locator finding is almost same for all the framework, right, guys. Okay, the same thing we use in Selenium, then Catalan Studio, anything, any framework you will work, the locator will always remain same. Okay, I would suggest, yeah, there are some inbuilt tool to identify the locators, right. Like suppose if you click on this one, right click on this one, it just says copy the X path, right, full X path, right. There are many things you can copy the locators, but always try to learn, right. Go to the console in element, right, press Control F, so this last line will get enabled for you, and it just says find the locators, right, and write the locators over here, because this practice will help you. Sometimes in interview they will ask you, okay, open this page and write the locator for this particular element, right. So at that time they will not accept if you just do like this way. So you should always learn how to write the locators, XPath, like CSS selector, and all those things. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one. So let's we go, and I will just say now what we have, right, in a robot framework, right, very easy syntax, like click. What we going to do, we want to click on a link, right, click on link, and which link? So XPath, then common, our XPath. Very simple, right. I'm just, this is normal human readable text, right? Open, then sleep, then click on link, then let's we put another sleep. I want to observe these things. Now, what we can do, right? After clicking, what next we need to do, right? Let's suppose if I click on login, what is happening? It will take us to this particular page, right? Where we need to enter email, password, and click on login button. So I need three more locators. So I will click on, and I will go to this, I will inspect, or you can right click and go to inspect, right. You can also use selector hub, guys. I will show you, there is another video is available. I have created the video for selector hub, right. I have created the video with the person who has already who has itself created the Selenium selector hub. Okay, so you can refer this video in our YouTube channel. You will find many playlist over here, guys, right. So just go to this one, and you will find many related, like interview related things, interview guidance, and all those things. You will find it over here. Okay. So let's we take the locators of this email, right? So it says it is highlighting. So we have ID, right? So when we have ID, always prefer the ID. So I will copy this ID. ID is equal to email. So I will copy this one, and I will just say is another method that we have, right? It's simple. Input text, right? And ID, I'm going to put ID is email, right? Then again sleep for 3 seconds. Then input password. You see, for text it has different, for password it has different. Okay, so I will just input password. I will locate this password, right click and go to inspect. And for password we have, yeah, we have ID password. I will copy this one. I will just say is ID, right. So far we have done. Go to the page, right, then click on login link, then go enter username and password. Now what we need to do, we need to click on login button, right. So again we have method click button. So to be honest, this robot framework is very simple. Okay, very simple, guys. So you can right click, go to inspect, right, and see. Again I will normally okay, the input I will just say is value, right. We can take value as login. So what I will do, I will write a XPath. So what XPath says, like input, then value tag value is this login, and complete this one. So I think something I was lacking. Like what is the? Let me again inspect. Okay, now no. I am getting one to one means this is correct. If you enter, yeah, this is getting highlighted, right? So this is our correct expert. When you get one to one, that means you're correct. You're on a correct locator. Okay, this see at the bottom one of one. So I will copy this one. I will just says click on this button again. Locator type XPath, and this is my locator. Okay, so this is done. Now I want to sleep for let's suppose 5 seconds, right? I want to sleep for 5 seconds. Then what I can do, I will everything is finished, right? So what we can do, close browser. Very simple. Close browser, close window. All these things we will see, right? But this is what we're gonna do. Very simple. Now you understand, right? Open browser, sleep, click on the link, then input text, username, input text, password, click on button and close the browser. Now what we can do, right? We will go to our terminal and we will execute this particular test case. So over here, you can see the terminal, right? Click on the terminal. Once you will click on the terminal, right? This will load, and this is how you should execute the test, your test case, okay, in Selenium. So yeah, so it is just opening this particular part, PowerShell and all those things. Again, I will show you if you face any issue what you need to do. Now you see you are on a robot framework demo, but you have created additional directory, right? So what you can do, cd test cases, right? Just go to the test cases. So you are on the location where we will find this particular file. Now what you need to do, you need to enter simple robot, then sample robot test case and hit enter. Okay, that's all you need to do. The keyword robot, then select the test case and it will start executing the test case. You see it says login to application. It has start executing this particular test case, and it maybe take some time on first test case. So let's we wait and see how it's gonna do the execution and all those things. Okay, yeah, it just say yeah, it's loading the browser. Yeah, it's opening the Chrome. Yeah, you see it's loading the login page. Now it's click on login page, and let's see what is happening the next. Yeah, oh, it says fail, right? So okay, it just says Selenium library input text expected 2 or 3 argument but got a 1. So I think input text, right? This is okay. You see we have given the email and password, but we have not given the value which you need to enter. You got my point. They must require some value to be entered. Okay, so yeah, good catch. So let me just write down the username. Okay, so it will be the username Ankit dot demo that I have created for this particular website dot gmail, and the password, right? So we got a failed test case, guys. So this is something. It will also the error syntax, right? You will see it's very easy to understand. It just says the keyword Selenium library input text expected 2 or 3 argument but got a 1. So this is something you need to learn, right? Now let's we do, and also you see the report has been created. We will see the report in the next session, but let's we execute this particular test case. Again, I am gonna say enter and see. Let's wait for a while and see how it's gonna be executed. Yeah, it's opening the browser, right? So previously if you have seen, right, it has click on the login, right? But after entering username password it is throw the error. But now let's we see what is happening. So after 3 seconds it will click on login. You see it's click on login. Now it will go to 3 second wait again. Username, yep, perfect. Then 3 second wait and password, yep, and 3 second wait and click on login. And then after it, yeah, you see login is successfully done. Now you can see the username, and after 5 seconds it will close the browser. Okay, yep, let's close the browser and let's we see what is coming up over here. So it just preparing the test cases if it is pass or failed. Yeah, you see it just says test case 1 executed, 1 pass and 0 failed. And over here you can see the pass, right? If you have multiple test case like a test ng, it will display your summary over here. So this is very simple example, guys. This is how we can write our first test case in a robot framework. So I hope you guys find this useful, right? Just do this first test case for yourself, and after that we will create another intermediate test case by using other section, right? Then we will create some advanced test case for the same scenario. Okay, that will help us. Thank you for watching, guys, and stay connected and keep learning.